What up, y'all? What up? Welcome. It is Whopper Wednesday, 12:08 Pacific Standard Time. Welcome to Arm Talk Drive-Through, right? I'm eating dessert. Off the hook. Now, let's talk about the latest and greatest, right? So, the moniker of late, let's make our North America arm wrestling great again. Okay. And I'm going to bring up some names. Feel free to chime in. Feel free to, add your comments and questions, and we'll touch base on that. So, latest and greatest. It was $10,000 up for grabs, right? $10,000 where Paul Italia said, hey, guess what? I got 10 grand. I want to see who's the big dog in North America. Now, we did have that once upon a time. It wasn't that long ago, but we did have that. It was WAL. Because basically that was see who's the top dog in North America. And I have to admit, after a while, this is just my opinion. What's up, Russ? How you doing? After a while, you got stuck with the same matches recycled over and over again, And I'm gonna name three people, and where we're trying to get away from that, get some new, fresh people in here, and now we're kind of reverting back to that. Now, this is not a jab at Paul Italia, but look, here's the deal. So, Paul said, "Hey, 10 grand. I want to see Jerry versus Devin." Paul is 100% in Jerry's corner. I get that. We've seen that in WAL. Do we need to see it again? Jerry said no. Maybe if Devin beats Gennady, we'll talk. And I'll get to that in a second. Then he went from there to like, hey, what about Michael Todd? We've seen Devin and Michael Todd so many times, it's not necessary anymore. We've seen that in WAL, right? Okay. Then Travis's name came up. I'm like, look, you know what? Has nothing to prove. And I understand Travis is one of those guys where, hey, you know what? If you put some money out there, maybe, we can make something happen. But you got to understand he's a parent first. And, if I had my son on the cusp of the NFL, I wouldn't be thinking about arm wrestling right now. That's just me. And besides, as far as Travis goes, he's done everything. He's won Nemiroff when it meant something. He's won WAF World Championships, beating the great Alexei Vovoda, who was the man at the time. He's won the wall double hammers one year. Doesn't have anything to prove, honestly. So there you go. Now, my opinion about the Jerry and Devin matchup. Here's my take. And I hope Paul Italia is watching. He doesn't have to take the match. He, as in Jerry, doesn't have to take the match. There's no need to. And I'm saying that because, again, excuse me, I'm eating my dessert, so I'm going to be taking a bite here and there. Now, if Jerry, who said himself, if his whole moniker, his whole drive is to be the number one guy, it ain't because he has to pull Devin, right? We all know. Phil Kane Wood, how you doing, Phil Woody? Here's the deal. Levon is the number one target. Jerry is shooting for that. Also, so is Gasparini. It does not make any sense, and I'll say it again. It does not make any sense for Jerry to go pull Devin because Devin says, hey, I'll pull you anytime. Doesn't make any sense. You don't want to get derailed on your journey because somebody says, hey, I'll pull you, blah, 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 blah. Makes no sense. It really doesn't. Okay? Let's get that out in the open. Now, Jerry also said, hey, if Devin can get by Gennady, then we'll talk. So I get what Paul is trying to say as far as, hey, yes, I'm eating peach cobbler and ice cream. Yes, I'm killing it. Jerry's the number one guy right now. I guess 1A and 1B, depending on who you talk to, in East versus West. Okay? So Jerry's focused on that. He's not focused on what Devin wants to say, this, that, and the other. Because Devin's playing mind games. It is what it is. He's playing his mind games. Doesn't mean we have to jump at what he says, honestly. And then, of course, be in Devin fashion, oh, give me 4 weeks, I'll use that as a tune-up to get ready for Gennady. Once again, doesn't make any sense. So I think Jerry's in a position where everyone wants to sit there and just, crap on him. Because no matter what Jerry says or does, everyone's, going to crap on him. If he says yes, let's go for 10 grand, then everybody's going to jump on Jerry. Oh, you're going to get your butt kicked. Devin's too strong for you, blah, 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 blah. If Jerry says no, then it's like, oh, you're scared of Devin. No, has nothing to do with that. This is just my opinion. Who cares what I think? I'm like everybody else. I got an opinion, right? But no, Jerry doesn't need to take that match. Jerry, you focus on you, man. Don't let anybody derail you in any way possible. I don't care if it's 10 grand or nothing, because honestly, if you want to be the number one guy, then you focus on that number one guy, that whatever that path is. Because if, let's just say he does take that match, if he did, and he happened to lose, then what? Then you can forget about having your name up there against, Levon coming up, because I do believe Jerry's next in line. If for some reason Gasparini doesn't beat Levon, Jerry's next in line. That's just the way it is. Devin had a crack at Levon, didn't work out. Jerry's next in line. Although I got my own things about who I think should be in that conversation also. Phil Woody says, I thought Jerry's response was appropriate. Pull Gennady first. Exactly. Because I'm telling you right now, and I thought, and I'm trying to figure out where Devin's all over the place right now. And this is not a me getting on, capping on Devin the whole entire time. Because I thought, and I could be wrong, but somebody help me out. I thought after he pulled Levon, Devin says, I'm not chasing the big guys no more. Did he not say that? Which is why he dropped down, pulled Prudnick, destroyed him. Pulled Sanders, destroyed him. Okay. And I thought he was like not going to pull the big guys no more. And lo and behold, now he's pulling Gennady. I'm sorry, Gennady's not 250 pounds though either. Be that as it may, So that's how I feel about that. Now, next topic, kind of the same, but in a different way. Now the 10 grand came up with Michael Todd. Okay. Do we need to see that again? I personally, I can't speak for everybody else, but I personally do not want to see Michael Todd and Devin for the 25th time. And this is nothing against Paul Italia. So if Paul's watching this, or you got friends that know Paul Italia, send this link to him, send this to him, and all that kind of stuff. This is not me getting on Paul, because even Paul said, hey, I've only been in the sport for a few years. Well, decades ago, Paul, these guys have been going at it for years. We don't want to see it again. We're at a point now in arm wrestling where we got some new blood, There are 3 combinations I do not want to see anytime soon. Maybe if ever. I don't care to see Devin versus Jerry. I don't care to see Devin versus Michael. I don't care to see Michael versus Jerry. I don't care for none of that. I really don't. We've been there, done that at WAL. That's why WAL started to lose some of its viewers. I mean, I'll watch because I'm a fan, but it's starting to get to a point where, dude, we've seen these matches recycled over and over again. Why are we doing this? And I'm not getting on Paul, but it seems like you're regurgitating stuff we saw before you got into the sport. Again, not getting on Paul at all, because I like Paul. Me and him, good friends with him, mine. Got nothing bad to say about the guy. But again, and these are the facts, though. And we're talking Devin and Michael way back in 2010, back when Arm Wars first got started, Manchester, Tappert Center. They've been pulling well 2008, 10, 12, back then, before Paul even thought about arm wrestling. I don't want to see that again. We just saw Michael and Devin at King of the Table last year. Why the fuck do we want to see that again? No. How about, if you want to make North America, how about Devin running back with Dave Chafee instead of running back with guys we've seen over and over again? Don't want to see that shit. Run it back with Dave then. Or if there's a match I really want to see, how about this? Let me take a scoop of my ice cream and you guys tell me who I think I'm going to say. And then I'll get the preacher's arm wrestling question. How about if you really want to see Devin, right, and now he wants to get back up into the supers, pulling those kind of guys, how about Devin versus Gasparini? That's an intriguing match. What do you think, right? Preacher Arm Wrestling says, Jerry is the current super heavyweight champion East vs. West. Whether you like it or not, it would not make sense to arm wrestle Devin, possibly lose, and then go to East vs. West as the champ. Exactly. And from what I understand, Preacher, is that you're going to have Levon, who has a legacy hammer, and then you're going to have Gasparini, the interim East versus West. They're going to put everything on the table. Winner take all. That pisses Jerry off because Jerry's like, what the fuck, you know? Now, with that being said, what you got to understand is that there's so many interim things. And as far as Jerry goes, another reason why Jerry shouldn't take that Devin match is because I'll tell you something else. I was more impressed with Jerry's match versus Gennady than I was with Georgie, if that makes any sense. And this, again, when I say these are my opinions, it doesn't mean I'm just like, you know, crapping on these guys. I'm just telling the facts. We're out there. I saw the eye test. I was more impressed with Jerry over, you know, Gennady. All right. And then, you know, you beat Georgie. And, you know, some people say you probably should have lost that one if Georgie had the wherewithal to have smart people in his corner. But that match with Georgie just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm sorry, but to get 3 wins and 2 of them were on elbow fouls doesn't really separate you from everybody else. So going to Devin doesn't make any sense either, you know. All right, Russ says, let's go ahead and highlight this for a second. He says, the problem is that the top 5 in North America isn't changing up that much in the last 10 years. And honestly, and here's the thing, Russ. So I look at it like this. I look at it like Ingen did something great for the sport, you know. Core Sports with East, you know, with King of the Table did something great. It actually made us to where North America is a whole. Like, hey, it's us versus everybody else. You know, that's why it's called East versus West. We're West. We take it on everybody on across the pond. That's how we're doing things. Whether it be Bulgaria, Russia, Ukraine, you know, Georgia, Italy, wherever the fuck. Kazakhstan, Pakistan, American Bandstand, wherever the fuck, right? It's gotten to that point now, right? So that's probably why we're not seeing that. And prior to these events coming up, you know, nobody was really, you know, wanting to pull each other. Kind of yeah, kind of no. So I mean, that's just, you know, my 3 cents, you know. Preacher says there are so little people that can be in that conversation that yes, Jerry needs to sit where he has to and match with Hermes and Levon. We just around the corner. So Jerry's in a good spot. And I think, you know, and correct me if I'm wrong there, Jerry's in a good spot because the injury he suffered getting ready for Gasparini kind of knocked him back, and he had to go, okay. He saw Dave take his spot, and Gasparini was ready for him, took him down. That injury kind of cost him because now he has to share the number 1 spot. So there, to a certain degree, Preacher, you're right. He is the number 1 guy, but Ingen also made Gasparini the number 1 guy. So it's almost like the UFC where you got the champ and then the interim champ. That's where we are right now, you know. And now he has to put that up against that, you know. Phil Woody, I'm going to highlight these if you guys don't mind. 7 people in the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all. Phil Woody says, Jody, a lot of talk Wall back this year, big time. So for me, Devin is the Goblin King chasing around like a dog on heat. Michael, only going to turn monstrous strong this year. I agree with Hermes versus Devin because why do we want to see stuff we've seen over and over again, you know? Because you're going to wear out that Michael Todd and Devin thing. I mean, it's going to get to a point. All right, fine. Go ahead. I'm not going to order it. I'm telling you, if somebody were to have that, hey, watch I'm not watching it. I've seen that. And by the way, Michael has his own thing to do. Michael has other opportunities that he's focused on, and ain't pulling them for 10 grand ain't one of them. Okay? Let's get that straight. So, yes. Now, Russ also says, yes, now that North America is competing against the East, it begins in new matches. And that's what I'm saying. It brings out fresh matches that we want to see. But new folks to the arm wrestling still wanted to know who is top on the continent. I get it, but again, you're going back to the same old stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you something else, though. I will say this. I wouldn't mind seeing Devin and Dave Chafee again. You know, I wouldn't mind having them run that back. Not with them weird, you know, WL rules, I guess, you know. I wouldn't mind seeing them run that back again, you know. But it doesn't make sense to have that on East versus West when both those guys are on the West, right? Maybe King of Table because they don't give a fuck because we've seen Devin and John. We've seen Devin and Michael. We've seen that before, so it doesn't really matter. But East versus West, that's strictly East versus West. Doesn't make sense to have that on there, right? So, yeah, I get it, you know. Here we go. Jerry has only one single super match, that 2 against Gennady. Ermis smashed Gennady a couple months ago. His match with Georgie. What to say when Jerry won all rounds with Georgie fouling, and that's the point I'm trying to make here. If it was me, that's like, hey, I won my super. It's almost like Tim Bresden, Austin Jaggers. Was there an actual pin in that whole match from Tim? Austin actually pinned him round 1, but all Jerry's pins were like elbow fouls. Hell, I go a step further. Remember the top 8? Remember Tim Bresden versus Rustam Babayev? Can y'all remember what happened? Tim Bresden won 3-2. There were 5 wins in that match. 5. All 5 were won on elbow fouls. Who the fuck wants to see that shit? That's my whole point. So, are you really proud of that? Now, in the record books, it's going to go, hey, I won. Take nothing away from that. I won, whatever. But who wants to win like that is where I'm getting at, That's all I'm trying to say. Nobody wants to win like that. Now, another name that came up, Travis Bajan. Once again, I'm eating my ice cream and peach cobbler, so excuse me. Now, we all know that money motivates Travis, it motivates him. Cool, But the thing is, though, you're talking to a guy who's done it all. And let's be honest with you, I'll bring it back. I don't think Travis has won an Arnold's, but he's won Nemiroff's Zloty Cup when it mattered. We're talking 04 or something like that, 04, 05. He won that. And we're talking, there were some studs. I mean, the Samarenkos of the world, Pushkars. Yeah, he won when those guys at the top of his game. He won that. He won Worlds, right? Beat Alexei Vovoda, who was the man at the time. Travis beat him, okay? He's won double wall hammers when Wall was like on ESPN, right? What year is that? 2015, 2016? He won both hammers, left and right. Multiple national titles, multiple state titles, blah, 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 blah. What does he have to prove now? Nothing really, The last meaningful match Travis had was in Moldova when he beat Georgie 3-0. So when he's motivated, that's a scary guy when he's motivated. But, you got to realize that, is he going to come back? We've been saying that for so long, but it's the newer guys that are really saying it. Oh, Travis, come back. Travis, come back. I get it. Because a lot of new guys, and when I say new guys, I'll say 3 or 4 years and younger, never got to see Travis in his prime. Never got to see John Brzezinski in his prime. And I'm glad John came back for you guys so you guys can see that. But we're talking guys that didn't lay down the law. It's awesome that we still get to see Ron Bath, compete at a high level. It's good that we see Todd Zilla compete at a high level. And I get that, but sometimes you got to realize that, hey, these guys have been there, done that, so be glad for what you got, But honestly, I mean, this is not a knock on Travis, and he'll probably take it the wrong way, but I don't give a fuck because this is my show. So a couple years ago, Waxahachie, Texas, y'all remember, and Travis goes, hey, me and Michael, one-on-one, you got to be there. Everybody flocked to that. Everybody, oh, I want to see it live. And what happened? It wasn't even a fucking match. It was just that boxing thing, and, who can hit the back, punching back more and more. It was a ploy. He got views. Everybody got hoodwinked. Wasn't a match, right? Okay. So much to the point, even Monster Michael Todd said, hey, I'm going to go on there, tell my fans, hey, I apologize. It wasn't what we thought it was. Yada, 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 yada. Travis didn't care. How many times did we see or did we hear about, hey, it's going to be Travis and Cody Merritt last year? Did that happen? No. And the last time Travis did pull, it was an uninspired Travis against Brendan Elsesser, and he won. Was Travis training for that? No. You see what I'm saying? So I get the original concept of, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try to make North America again. I got 10 grand, Cool. But don't do it towards the same fucking people all the time. Offer Corey West that matchup. See what happens. Devin's doing his thing. I mean, he's in Good standing with Ingen, Core Sports. How about some fresh people? You know? How about this time it's Dave Chafee and Corey West right-handed? Because I was there when Dave and Corey West pulled left-handed and Corey injured himself. That was left-handed. Tried right-hand now. How about Paul Talia? How about you put 10 grand up and have those two go at it? I want to see new people. Or how about, you put Chan Shaw and Corey West up in there. If you want to make North America again, fucking do that shit. Don't bring up the same fucking people we've had in the past, because we've been there and done that. And quite honestly, those guys got other stuff on their mind right now. They got other stuff on their plate. Michael Todd has other opportunities on his plate. Jerry, other opportunities on his plate. Devin's just doing Devin stuff because that's what he does, right? Use the 10 grand. Would you rather see Corey West and Chan Shaw? Fuck, we've been talking about it kind of quietly for the last fucking 2 years. Do that. I know Jerry's your boy, Paul. I really do. I know he's your boy. And I want him to represent, our country when he goes against the guys across the pond. But North America, yeah, you want to know who's top 5? I get it. But those top 5 are not moving because those guys are interested in pulling the guys across the pond. Do you see where I'm going with this? Hope that makes sense. I mean, if I'm making sense, give me a thumbs up or something, because I don't know. And maybe I'm kind of out in left field when I say that. I don't know. But, I just see it that way, Jay Clean says, yes, Corey got handled by Arif. Yeah, but guess what? Arif ain't North American. So the title of this one is 10 grand. Who wants it and why? Is it worth it? North American Arm Wrestling. If you want to do it that way, get those guys in the mix. You want to see Devin pull? Devin, Gasparini, make that happen, Yeah, and yes, and Corey did pull 2 matches. That's saying something. Why do you think Morozov took time off? Every time he went to Ingen's event, he was pulling right and left-handed. Jiminy Christmas. Give the guy a break. I mean, everyone he had, he was there pulling both hands. Give that guy a break, man. Give him a break. Let him heal up. Because I guarantee you, the next match I want to see, left hand, it's going to be Corey West and Arnold Morozov. That's what I want to see. That's what it should be. Jay Clean says Chafee crushes Corey right-handed. Yeah, it might be. It might be one-sided, I mean, styles make matches, It does. Let's be honest. It does, But yeah, I mean, get Dave in the conversation. Maybe Corey, Chan Shaw, whatever, I don't know. I mean, am I making any sense, or am I just like totally losing my mind? Because I could be doing that, Oh, I like this one. Want to see Vitali and Morozov left-handed. Does anybody know what Vitali's doing nowadays? He lost to Dave and fell off the face of the earth. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with that, But, it's just, the reason why I'm on doing this live just out of nowhere is because I've been keeping my ear to the ground and I'm listening. I really want to kind of put things in perspective before I have an opinion, But, the thing is, though, is that, once again, I'm not crushing Paul Talia. I understand what he's doing. I totally get it. Because now that with these other organizations up for grabs, it does kind of leave the top 5, maybe top 7 or 8, 9, 10 kind of stagnant. There's really no movement. Because I'm telling you something. There's pros and cons to this, right? What's the pros to Paul Talia doing this? Because when you go pull the Levans, Gasparinis, right? Morozovs, Orakles, Mendaugases. I can name them all too if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Georgies, Gennadis, list goes on and on. Guess what? When you win, now the goddamn thing happens to the North America rankings. It stays right there. Just being real. When you do that kind of stuff, nothing changes. You can go there, pull Zurab, lose. Now the goddamn thing happens to you in the rankings because you're not pulling nobody. So I get why Paul wants to do that. I really do. The downfall is that we don't need to recircle the same guys over and over again. Because then it's like, what about the guys who've been kicking ass and putting in the work? You know, hey, been kicking butt on the bigger stages. They're not getting no love. You know, they're really not. You know, I saw on the Strongcast, Vitaly said he would be going on a 6-month hiatus, and at the end of it, he would be at his strongest and ready to pull anybody. And some in this sport, sometimes you need to. You know, sometimes you need to. Sister Sarah, yes, I will see you at the Monster Factory weekend of April 29th. Yes, I will be there. My opponent is in the chat. There you go. So, yes, we will be there. But again, it's just like, you know, I don't know where can we go with this. And you got to here's the thing. And I'm gonna say one of the thing about Arm Wars. I'm kind of off topic, but we as an arm wrestling community are in a good place right now because 2020 was a hell of a year. Kind of fucked everybody up with the COVID and everything. We're in a good spot. You know, like we came back. We, the community of arm wrestling, came back real strong, right? Because the thing is the fact that Wall went away, and I go, okay, what are we doing? What happened now, right? So Ingan says, hey, let's put together East First West. And again, that was just a one-time thing. If you like it, I'll keep doing it. Core Sports goes, hey, king of the table. Okay, we got it. Monster Factor says, I want to do this. And what makes that unique is because it's not everybody across the pond. It's right here in our own country. Arm Wars reboot. It went reality check, and now we're on Iron House, right? Arm Gods, right? So each organization that I just mentioned right now, along with the ones that have been going on for years and years and years, it gives something for everybody. And the sad thing is that somebody still has something to complain about. Blows my mind. We should be thoughtful and thankful that we have these organizations that open, because I mean each organization offers something for someone, if that makes any sense. That might have came out wrong, but it offers something for someone. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if that makes sense. But you see what I'm saying, though? So if you like the real structured rules, you know, yeah, you can go to one organization, Elbow Foul City, whatever. If you like the entertainment standpoint, then maybe Arm Gods is your fix. You know, if you want to knock down, drag out match with some awesome editing, then maybe Arm Wars is your cup of tea. Whatever. But just know we are spoiled. We're in a great spot right now, and people always find a way to chip at each other. I don't get it, you know. I really don't get it. I wish, you know, people would knock it off, you know. But then again, what do I know? I'm like everybody else. I got an opinion, right? So, but anyway, so that was basically what I wanted to say. I'll get off my soapbox now because I don't want to waste no one's time. But hey, everyone, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate that. Some of y'all might see me later on tonight. I'll be a guest on somebody's show, right? Okay. But again, it's Whopper Wednesday. Hope you guys had a good Valentine's Day yesterday. Until next time, I will see y'all down the road. Be good to one another.